Hello, I'm Miguel. This is the first interview of Memes Cafe. I'm here with Roberto. So please tell me how old are you?
I'm 19 years old.
Thanks. What is your occupation?
I study in tech,
What do you study?
LIT.
Thanks. Can you tell me please where do you live?
I actually live in Monterrey,
Thanks. And finally, what is your gender?
male.
Thanks. Start with the interview. Tell me, when you go to a restaurant, what is a dish or drink you usually order?
Um, I usually order a steak or a cheeseburger, and I drink lemonade most of the times.
Thanks. Which is the reason you visit restaurants?
I often like to go to restaurants, like to with people, to talk to them, or like a weekly activity just for fun.
Okay, thanks. In when you go and visit restaurants, is it usually alone or with friends?
I usually go with other people, or friends or family, either of them.
Okay, and what time do you usually visit restaurants and what time specifically? Like breakfast, dinner?
I think I rather go to have dinner, but I also like going for breakfast.
Okay, and like what hour? Like 9 p.m., 8 p.m.?
Yeah, like 7 p.m. maybe for dinner, and for breakfast like 11 a.m.
Okay, and when you visit these places, how much are you willing to spend?
Um, I'm usually willing to spend around I don't know, 600 pesos for maximum
Per week or per visit?
per visit. But as I said, I don't usually go like 3 times a week.
Okay, thank you. And how often would you say you visit the restaurant during a week? Which days of the week you say you go?
Um, I think most of the times I go like on weekends, and sometimes when I'm free, I can go to have dinner on the week. Like I don't know, Friday, maybe.
Okay. And how do you discover new cafes or new restaurants? Which is the method you discover them? The typical method.
Um, I think my favorite method is with TikTok or Instagram, like recommendations from different creators, and also it can be like with the recommendation of other friends or family that have visited these places.
Okay. And do you prefer savory or sweet breakfast? Does it change depending on your mood, or how do you choose?
I think for breakfast, I rather have savory, because yeah, like I sometimes have sweet breakfast, but most of the times I have like yeah, um, savory food.
And does it affect your moods, or what is it depending on?
This decision is basically based on my mood. Like sometimes I have more of a sweet tooth, but yeah, like it's depending of in what mood I am. But I think like if I'm really hungry, I don't eat sweet food.
Okay, thank you. And what time of day do you usually go out for breakfast or brunch?
For breakfast, maybe I usually go like around 11 a.m., 12 p.m. And I think brunch is more like a couple hours later, like I don't know, 2 p.m. around that time.
Okay, do you know Memes Cafe?
I've never heard of it.
Okay, so perfect. When do you hear the name Memes Dinner, what do you think or what does it make you feel? Like the pure idea.
Um, it brings me an idea like of a modern place. Like I picture like a place like for young people. Yeah, like focused on young people, and yeah, basically that.
And how do you feel? How would you feel when you hear about a restaurant that combines Mexican and American food cultures? What would you think about, make you feel and expect about it?
I've never heard about that concept, but it can be interesting. Like, I can't imagine like literally combining these two types of food, but I can picture a restaurant that offers you both types of food, and I like that concept. Like, I I obviously love Mexican food, and I also like a lot some American types of food, like steak or similar things.
Thank you. And when you walk into a restaurant or a place, what's the first thing you notice? What is the first thing you are seeing?
I think the first thing I notice is like the aesthetic of the place, like the decoration or the um, order of the place, like the tables or the kitchen, or yeah, like all of the aesthetics. And with those aesthetics, I can know what kind of place it is, like focused on younger people, or um yeah, like how the restaurant is.
Okay. And how important is to you the speed of the service? Like when you ask for the food and when they deliver you, how fast it should be, and overall the speed of the service to be considered good, and how much it depends on your appreciation of the place.
I think it is not the most important thing of a restaurant for me, because most restaurants aren't quick on serving you the food, but I actually consider it's a really great plus. Like, if you go to a place that gives you the food really quickly, you remember it, and it is something you like about it. Like, well, obviously if the food is good.
Okay, thank you. And does the recreation of the interior design of the place affect how you're staying in the place, and why will it affect or not affect?
Yeah, I think it affects a lot, because some things can um, be very important about the decoration of the place, like how comfy you can feel inside the restaurant, or things like the sound, because there are some restaurants that, for the design of the place, like when you talk to other people, there is echo, or you cannot hear them really clearly. So yeah, the interior of the place is really important for how long am I gonna stay there.
There, okay. And let's pretend you are going to hang out with some friends. Which is the first place that comes to your mind to hang out with your friends here in Monterrey?
um Let me think about it. mm, I think the first thing that comes to my mind is the restaurant of the Food Box, that I've gone a couple of times with friends, and I think it's really like comfy, as I said, to be there to talk to your friends. They actually have like board games, so you can play with other people, and yeah, the food is actually good.
Okay, okay. And when you go to a restaurant, how important is to you that the food is made fresh to order, even if it means waiting a bit longer, and why?
Yeah, yeah, it's really important. I rather take the risk of having to wait 30 minutes or even a little bit more, if the food is really fresh and good. Like, if it is quick but they bring like freezed food, or food that you know that isn't prepared at the moment, I don't like it.
Okay, okay. Um, when if a restaurant offer the same menu all day, would that change how often you visit, or if you have these different menus like breakfast, dinner, brunch, would you go like different times to taste some?
I think it is more attractive more attractive to have different menus. Like as you said, you can go at different times, like for breakfast, and try new things that aren't available on the dinner. But I can also like a restaurant that have the same menu all the day. Like especially talking about Mexican food, there are some things like enchiladas that you can order for dinner or for breakfast. But yeah, I'd rather visit a place that have a bigger menu.
Thank you. And how important is the atmosphere of life at place when you decide where to go, especially at night? What elements makes you actually want to go to a place or stay a little bit while?
I think I would respond similar to as I said before. Like I care about a lot. I care a lot about the confidence of a place. Yeah, like I don't think it matters a lot the time of the day, like if it's day or nighttime. But yeah, like a place that can offer you a good place to stay and talk with your friends or the people you're visiting with.
Okay, and now talking about in a overall manner, how would you say you find about new restaurants, whether it's social media, word of mouth, or something else, whatever it is?
I think most of the times it is through social media. As I said, sometimes I know about places through recommendation of people, but mostly social media.
Okay, and have you ever visited a restaurant specifically because of somebody you saw on TikTok or Instagram? And what was the thing that convinced you to go and really try on the place?
Yeah, I try a lot of places that I see on TikTok or Instagram. And I think the main things that convince me to go are the food, like if the food is really good. And I consider a lot the prices, like if it offers you a good food and has a regular price, I like it. Like, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
basically that.
In addition to the question, imagine you go out to in a weekend with friends a night. How do you decide if the night was worth it? And as you said, is price really a big factor in this kind of hangouts, or does it affect something else?
I think that to a night to be worth it, it doesn't really matter the price. Like at the moment, it can matter, but like after like the day the next day, you don't really think about the price. You remember more about the food and if you had a good time in that place.
Thank you. What do you consider is a reasonable price for a meal, including the drink, not just the food, also the drink?
I don't know, like the main food, I think good price is around 300 pesos, and for a drink, well, it depends on what you order. Like if you order a lemonade or alcohol, but around 100 pesos maybe.
For a whole food and
Oh no,
drink?
for the whole thing, I think a reasonable price is 500, 600 per person.
Okay, thank you. How much do you usually spend when you go out to eat a restaurant per week and per visit?
Per week and per visit, I would consider it the same thing, like because I don't go a lot of times in a single week to different restaurants. But a reasonable price would be 500, 600 pesos.
Per reasonable. And what is most important to you when choosing food? Taste, portions, flavor, presentation, ingredients. How do you decide what to ask for?
I think the most important things are ingredients, as you said, and obviously the taste of the food.
And how would you describe your ideal restaurant atmosphere? Like the perfect place for you to be and visit over and over again?
I think it would be a restaurant with good space, good like distribution, like as I said before, like a space that can bring you, like can offer you, I don't know, the ability to speak normally with your friends without screaming. Um, and about the food, like having a good service, like the waiters to have a good service, and the food tasting good.
Okay, and how does the design or the decoration affect your visit to a place? Like, even if the food is the best in the world, how does it affect if you visit or not a place?
I think it's an important addition to a place. Like if it is, like as people say it now, is aesthetic. It is a really good plus, like for it being pretty.
And how would you describe a fair price for a meal? Not for you, like for everyone, like fair, reasonable.
Like a quantity, or what does it need to have?
Yes, a price like 2,000 pesos, like
Ah.
food and drink.
Okay. I think for an average person, like anyone, 500 pesos maybe,
Per person.
400, 400 maybe, yeah.
Okay, okay. And what usually makes you stay longer at a restaurant instead of leaving after just eating?
The confidence of the place, like, yeah, how comfortable is it to stay in?
Okay. And when you think about your favorite restaurant experience, what small details stood to you?
Important details, maybe the taste of the food, like of the food, of the drinks, even at dessert if you ask for one. The service, obviously, and the price. Yeah,
Price.
basically that.
Okay, okay. And how important is the variety of a menu when you decide to a place to go? And is it a group or a long decision?
Like if I go out with other people, like it's obviously a decision of everyone. But I think it is important to have variety on your menu, because people have many different like food like they like, and there may be some vegan people, or I don't know, like people like different things. But there are some restaurants that may like that are like specialized on certain like food, so I don't necessarily think that a place with not a lot of variety is bad.
Okay. And have you ever stopped going to a restaurant even though the food was good? And what made you lose the interest in that place?
Yeah, I've stopped going to a restaurant before, and it was due to things like the service, like if they have a good or bad service, and also maybe the how clean the place is, because a long time ago I stopped going to a restaurant because like the place was really dirty, and like yeah, it didn't look good.
Okay. And what usually makes you feel that the price of a restaurant was worth it?
I think I really consider the relation of price and how good the food was. Like, if the food was really good and it costed a lot of money, I can consider it was worth it because of how good it was.
Thank you. And do you usually plan where to eat in advance or you decide a moment? What influenced that decision?
Most of the times I plan before going, and but I accept there may be times that are like in the last moment, and what influences the decision? I think like the what I and other people like have, like what we want, like what we are hungry for.
Thank you. And finally, do you enjoy restaurants that constantly change their menus, or you prefer to instead to stick to a menu? And why?
Personally, I think I like a menu to be always the same, but because I like always like to go for like safe options, but I accept that um, I accept that like a menu that changes constantly can be also a good like addition like for the restaurant to be interesting.
Thank you, Robert. So this was an interview conducted by Miguel Ángel Valgrasiva, a student of the Tecnológico de Monterrey. This was an interview about studying the habits and experiences about gastronomic experiences here in Monterrey about the Youngs, because we would like to understand the perspective of persons of your age, to understand how they eat and what prefer. This conversation was recorded. Do you give your permission to record your voice and your figure?
Yep.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.